so we can't really put it on that side.
Right.
Right.
Well, thank you all for your work you do out there. We certainly appreciate that. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the request for variance.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion second. Any more discussion? There being none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed, motion carries. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, ladies.
Hand me that pen over there. I just gave out. That ain't.
Okay,
Thank you.
Sean, we still don't have anybody on the 16 unit, do we?
No, we do not.
Okay. You want to just postpone that one
Until the next.
till they can,
September.
okay. Do we have anything else on the Board of Zoning Appeals?
That would be the September 3rd meeting. We don't have anything else.
Sure, okay, thank you. Okay, need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye. Motion carries, we are adjourned.
Anybody that was here for that matter, I'll send out new notifications of that meeting time when I get opportunity to come back to that, okay? So, since the applicant's not here, it'll be postponed till the next meeting, but I'll let you guys know when that's gonna
We were
be.
going to do that.
Okay.
Are you talking about the rezoning?
No, I was talking about the BZA matter where the applicant wasn't here. The planning commission is getting ready to start, so.
Yeah, even, you're welcome to stay now, nobody has to, we have to change up here just a little bit, but.
That's it. What's your name?
No, I was wondering if you had a
Oh, I do.
bulletin.
I sure do.
You know your name anyway, don't you?
I don't know mine. Nobody else. It's okay.
Thank you for being here.
Is that 16 unit apartment?
Yeah,
Where was that going to be?
it was over off of Little Marsh and, it's close, that, what's that West End Church, and actually, if you come off their parking lot, the land is right down there from that condo. There's apartments all
I think
over
I
the
got
place there,
everything.
but I can't get,
For once.
envision this to grown up, I can't tell much about it. Are we ready? Okay, at this time, we're going to call the Planning Commission meeting to order. First item of business will be the minutes from our July the 2nd meeting.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes as given to us and dispense with reading.
Thank you, Jim. Do we have a second? Have a second, okay. Any discussion? There being none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Now we're gonna move right into a rezone request. And this is from R1 to R3. It's located 107 Bell Street. Is someone here to present this? Okay. Come forward and state your name, please, for the record, and tell us a little bit about your plans.
George Bartz. I acquired it, it was supposed to be a commercial piece of property, and somewheres in the late past, it got changed to residential, so it's not fittable for my conditions, so I figured if I get it rezoned to something better, I'd have better chances of selling it to more options.
Okay.
So that I might be able to do something with it that I can't do with it.
Okay.
Basically, so the story. Just trying to,
Does any board members have any questions at this time?
That lot is right there by the housing authority.
Yes, sir.
I don't have any questions.
So you mentioned that it got rezoned. Did it get rezoned after you acquired it? or-
Before I required it, the person that owned it didn't know it got rezoned. It was sold to me in pretense of it being a commercial piece of property. And then I found out through codes that it was rezoned and I couldn't use it for what I acquired it for.
So you're requesting a change from R1 to R6?
3.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I was looking at the,
More often than buyers.
Are there anyone in the audience here to address this, if you want to comment on it?
Yes, I do.
Okay, come forward, please, state your name and tell us where you live.
What's it back down?
Yeah, for now. We might need you back though.
I live at 115 Bell Street. My
What's your-
name is Richard Martinez.
Okay,
I got a half a dozen concerns about rezoning. The first one is reduce the property values from a single zone to multiple zones, as stated. Reduced for higher property taxes. If somebody comes in there, builds a condominium, and let's say I don't want to sell, can he force an eminent domain? I don't know.
probably not.
Yeah. And if you go from single home to multi-homes, that might cut a lot of buyers out of the market. Only contractors or developers or readers would want to buy a multi-home zone instead of all these buyers looking for single-family homes. And yeah, that's about it. Oh. Now I have a $67,000 mortgage on my place. And I'm assuming that whoever buys my property would be paying me more than that to buy the property. Now, that would pay the mortgage off, but it wouldn't allow me to buy another house somewhere.
Right.
And so, I guess that'd just be with the contractors or the developers, it wouldn't be with the city.
Well, at this point, all we're doing is considering the rezoning, and from that point, it would be a whole nother process.
Yeah, so, well, those are the concerns I had. Higher property taxes, lower home value because it got rezoned, and eminent domain, and that's about it.
Okay.
I'll listen to you.
Okay, do you have any questions or comments for this neighbor while he's here? Anyone? Okay. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for your listening.
Is anyone else here that would like to comment on this? Okay, come forward, please.
Tricia Bassham, McMinnville Housing Authority forever before some of you were born. Pam Bond, the current executive director. Let me just go ahead.
Yes, please.
Okay, the McMinnville Housing Authority owns property on two sides of this proposed piece of land. We're concerned about the R3 zoning, and I know that we're zoned R3, but our property was built in 1961, and the codes were completely different than what they are now. And we would meet R2 now for the McMinnville Housing Authority. We're not R3, we're almost R1. Every one of our pieces of our houses that are in the land adjacent, the whole site, which is on the left-hand side of Old Morrison Road as you go out, are duplexes or single family. There's nothing bigger than a duplex on that property. Our playground is adjacent, and gosh, Mr. Glenn Hobbs was the greenhouse was a favorite place when I was growing up for all of us to go get tomatoes and all sorts of things. But he had an excellent fence around his property. Now, HUD, and it was the Public Housing Administration then, would not let us fence our property because we don't want our tenants to think they're in jail unless it was for the safety of the tenant, which meant we built a fence between us and the railroad track, and that was on the other side of Old Morrison Road because we were keeping our kids from getting hurt. But we can't keep our kids from going other places.
Right.
And there are a lot of strangers, and I don't know, but I mean, they're not our residents, that cross through. The fence has been torn down in 3 or 4 places. And I mean, people walk to the store and walk to go downtown and walk to the park and cut through. But we're very concerned, and the poor street over there is not wide enough for R3 traffic. The city's gonna really need to look at the width of the street, the lack of sidewalks, where the school buses stop, how the garbage truck would get in and out, how fire trucks would get in and out, and make sure that what you're doing, if you allow R3, is really not gonna be something that comes back and bites you.
Okay. Do we have any questions?
Got any questions for us?
Anyone?
This might be for anybody, but where is the actual access to this property?
There's not any.
The access is off of Bell Street and currently goes through the parking lot of the adjacent church to that property.
Okay.
And back when that greenhouse was built, I started work for the Housing Authority in 1963, but the church didn't have near the depth of the parking lot, and it wasn't striped off, and everybody went through the church parking lot to Glenn Hobbs's greenhouse. And there was no conflict because it was only open in daytime hours. What is the access gonna be? They're gonna have to buy their access?
That'll have to be looked at the time of development. We don't know what the development is at this point.
Well, it is landlocked now, the best I've got some pictures on my phone, but all we could do, we went to the church's parking lot and made some pictures from that side. You can't make many pictures anywhere else without trespassing because it's overgrown unbelievable.
Well, I know if you've used, I've had this proven to me, unfortunately, if someone that's used an excess for a number of years, it's really hard to
I
stop.
know,
Because I got in a situation once it cost me a bundle of money to,
you know.
but, you know, that part I
Adverse
don't know.
possession or
Yeah.
such things.
But-
I understand, but,
Oh.
I mean,
I understand when you change the zone, that opens it up and
yes.
complicates it even more, so I understand that.
And I think on R3, on that 1.66, it could be 20-plus units.
Yeah, there
On that
could be a lot of,
1.66
and
acres,
it's
is that
a
right?
very sloping property,
Yeah.
and
I'm
guess
not sure.
where it
That's what I'm
slopes?
concerned about, is
So
where it
as far as
slopes.
getting 20 units in there, no, that's not really
Okay.
gonna be possible.
It
Okay, so
could
you
be-
got a couple different factors when you're looking at the multifamily. So the way currently R3 reads is it's 5,000 for the first unit and then 3,000 for each additional. But on top of that, you have a max lot coverage that applies to that, which is 30%. So if you take that 1.66, do that 30%, you're about 0.49. Little round up, you're about half an acre that could be allowed for coverage. At max, you're looking at more along the lines of 7 to 8 units would be the max possibility.
Maybe they wanna do a 3-story or a 5-story or a 10.
So there's a max height of 35 feet.
Okay, how many
So they
stories?
can-
33-story.
You get
About.
a 3-story, depending on your roof pitch, may be possible, but that will be pushing with a max of
Yeah.
35 feet.
But, I mean, you're,
Probably a
you
two-story.
could be talking about a lot of units if you start stacking them.
That coverage would be regardless if you stacked them or not.
Well,
So your
That
maximum,
7 to 8 units would apply whether they're trying to stack vertically or
Okay.
go horizontally.
you
That
couldn't build
coverage is
more if
still-
you did a 3-story building?
No.
I mean, I know you still gotta have the parking. And believe you me, as the property we built in 1963, they didn't average a half a car per unit. Now they want 3 cars per unit. You know, the kids don't ever move out. They grow up in cars. But we're just concerned about what it would be. My request would be that R2 is the most that's allowed. Because it's, I mean, I really wish you'd go over there, and I hope somebody from the church is here.
We've all probably looked at it.
Okay.
I sat there and studied it, and I was familiar with it from, I've been to the greenhouse back years ago.
Back in the
Yeah,
back.
yeah. So,
But, you know, and I hope somebody from the church is here. I mean,
yeah, that was my concern, is how, you don't know the connection between the church and the property. They, you know, it would be nice if somebody was from the church. Is anyone from the church here by any chance? I'm surprised they're
well,
not.
they've repaved their parking lot, got it all striped and looking good. And just think of the construction size equipment that will have to go in to build this development. I mean, I think they'll have to buy access somewhere else, but I don't have a dog in that part of the fight.
Yeah.
But having gone through that, it's the construction equipment that causes the serious damage.
Yeah, it would be nice if they had a different entrance to it, I agree.
And if the street was wider. When I went looking for it, I turned left on Bell Street, not right, because I didn't think there was any place on the right side of Old Morrison Road to build that many units.
Okay. Is anyone else in the audience here to comment on this? We appreciate y'all being here and your comments.
It's Sean.
Yeah, Sean, you want to bring
Yeah,
us
so
up?
the property is currently zoned R1. The church right there is zoned R1 as well. Both have been non-conforming uses. So I don't know, these regs took effect in 1995. I don't know what the zoning was prior to that, if it got rezoned to R1 or if it was ever commercial. I don't know the history on that. That'd take a lot of diving into to get there. Even on the R1, the church and the greenhouse are both non-conforming use. The access is there when it comes off of Bell Street. We don't know the development, and we can't, with the rezone, we can't base it upon the development, because that starts getting into a path of potential conditional rezoning if we're trying to limit it to a certain use that would be within that district. And so that, we don't have it. It does abut R3, it's 1.66. At the development time, if they were looking to do multifamily, there's still regulation factors that they would have to meet in order to do that development. So even if the property was on R3, even though multifamily is a permitted use, it wouldn't automatically equate to approval of multifamily if all the other factors were not met with the proposed development. And R2, if they went to R2, the possibility of multifamily still exists. That would require a special exception to come through in front of the Board of Zoning Appeals. But there's still kind of that backside of that multifamily would still be. The only difference is that would take it from a permitted use to a special exception.
I'm just wondering if, when Mr. Hobbs had his greenhouse, it was probably still just R1. He probably just had a greenhouse, so what do you think, Jim?
Yeah.
Things was different back then than now.
Yeah, I
you
know.
know.
So
The
he-
city didn't have a codes inspector in 1961. Not a full-time one.
Well, it depends on the complaints. If you don't get a complaint, and I don't know that, he operated pretty neatly. I doubt if there was any complaints when he was there.
Sean, with R2, as a alternative for this, is what is allowed within R2?
Duplexes.
Duplexes. Is there much difference in R2 versus R3? I guess is more the question.
The
There's some
size.
duplexes would be an allowed use. Then, it said you can do multifamily under a special exception. Single families allowed. Let me pull it up. Okay.
subdivide it multiple times as well.
No, you don't, all you got's just a little thing going down a big hill.
Right.
I mean,
But if somebody built a bigger street,
well, if they hit
Never
from
built
a
it.
different street, this could be a pretty good little development in there. You know, but Sean, I really think we need to know more about this, about the connection of the church and the, Jim, what do you think? You've dealt with this a long
I'm
time.
sort of,
So R2, uses a single-family detached and two-family dwellings, including mobile homes, accessory apartments or single-family detached dwellings, when in conformance with provisions of 145013A, accessory buildings, television, radio, and satellite dish antennas, for temporary and temporary structures. Uses are permitted on appeal. Special exceptions would include multifamily, bed and breakfast, churches and other places of worship, schools offering general education courses, public utilities, municipal uses such as fire or police station, daycare home for up to 7 children, customary home occupations, parking lots, tea rooms, elderly housing and residential homes, and then attached single-family dwellings, so that would be townhomes, fourplex townhomes, that type of thing.
Sean, does this actually front on any street, or does it just have that?
It's got that access off of Bell Street, so from a subdivision standpoint, it wouldn't have 50 feet of road frontage. They'd have to kind of put a new road in there, there's not
Yeah.
really a way that access can go in there and put a new front to get that.
I think from the board's perspective, looking at having an actual plan with a street, that has an agreed access is, would be appropriate. If a developer came to us with a mock-up plan that has agreement with the church on access, then we
yeah,
can.
Right.
yeah.
But without access, we can't, there's no utilities and no,
Right.
How do they get their property? I mean, which?
through the parking lot, through that church parking lot.
And it's,
Not familiar with the greenhouse. There's no
yeah,
plan for us to approve.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
and I
It's not
understand
necessarily
him
that we-
wanting to use his property, I would
Right.
too.
Yeah, but
That's fine.
If he could tie that in with some other property.
With frontage.
Yeah, you could do a lot with it.
Or are we looking at this the wrong way, Sean? Or what's your,
No, I can understand the point of access. If it's up to the board, if it's your desire, we could postpone voting on this, and I could dive in and look at that access and see what we got there to address that concern.
It seems like if it's rezoned, that's just making a bad situation a little worse. I mean, just opens up. If this could be tied in with some more property or something there, some adjoining property or something. Because there's certainly duplexes and apartments around it, especially
it's
duplexes.
got two sides of R3, but just no access. That's,
Anyone else want to comment? What's the desire of the board?
table the, I'll make a motion to table it until we have information about the access.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion to table at this time. That means it can be brought back up again if we have more information and, I guess, a request and,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, so we'll get that, and we'll put this on for the next meeting. We'll get back on the access and get that information.
And I would suggest if I owned that property, I'd be talking to the neighbors around there about working out a bigger plan or something possibly, but that's up to you. Okay, we have a motion to table and a second. Any more discussion? Being none, call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries, okay.
And just for those who came and spoke on this, from a general standpoint, if this gets tabled, it'll be at the next meeting. You're welcome to come to that one. Ultimately, this board does not make the decision for the rezoning. This would just be a recommendation to go to the board of mayor and aldermen. It would ultimately be the deciding board if that was to be rezoned or not. And there would be additional publication and notification on when that public hearing is going to be.
but we won't get a notice when the next meeting is. We've got to read the stand.
It'll be the first Tuesday in September. I can send you out a new notice. If you want to just write down the contact information, I can give you a call or shoot you an email as well.
Rebecca knows how to find us. Yeah. I call it.
Okay, we'll move into the next item, and that is an amendment on submitting,
No, we should have one before that, the annexation.
oh, I'm sorry, yeah, I got ahead of myself there. Okay, sorry about
You're a
that.
lot, Wade.
You thought you'd sit there for
I'm
nothing,
here.
didn't you? Okay, this is request for annexation on property at 303 Nashville Highway. You want to come forward and tell us a little bit about your
Can I
plans?
bring this up to you? It's just a map where you'd have guidance. This is the red. I'm just wanting to annex it over to hook up to your underground septic. And there's this. Actually, there's two of them if you'd like.
Sewer, right?
Huh?
Hook up the sewer.
That's all I'm needing.
Okay, I think out there I think you have to do a pump, a grinder pump or something.
Yeah, it's $5,200 through the city. I just gotta get it approved to get annexed over. $57.
Yeah, in order for the sewer service to provide utilities.
Yeah, I have to
And-
annex it.
Well,
And I pretty much have it lined up, I just have to have y'all's go-ahead. So I've
yeah,
already
you have
talked
to
to
be the city
everyone.
to tie on.
Yeah, I've already talked to
Yeah.
everyone, and they're ready just whenever
Yeah.
I can make it happen.
Does this go to the mayor, board, and alderman as well?
This will go to the mayor board.
It's
So they
taking-
can't approve it now? It has to go-
No, it has to go at their next meeting, and I've done this several times too, doing similar. I don't think you'll have a problem, it's just a time factor.
Right.
Oh,
So
Well, I've been
this
patient this long, so God is good all the time. We'll just wait longer.
would go to the last Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting this month, which is,
Oh, so it won't be the
20
September one.
No, I can go the last one on this one, let's see, that meeting would be the 27th.
That's
So we can have it on that meeting for the 27th. We couldn't do the 13th because there's notification requirements that we have to do for state statute,
Yeah.
so there's no in time to do that.
Okay, does any board members have any questions?
Are there multiple homes?
Just my one.
Okay.
It's just strictly your wanting time
Just
to
my
the
strictly little home that I stay in and I need to get away from the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's neat what you've done there. It's-
it's pretty neat. I'm not finished. I wanna do a lot of landscaping, but again, I gotta get it annexed over to see what y'all, allow me to
Right.
do, so. I wanna put a fence up in the front where people stop going down my driveway taking pictures and, anyway, there's a lot I need to do, but first I gotta do this.
Okay. Sean, do you want to comment
It
on
meets all
that?
requirements, recommended zoning would be R1, pretty much everything
Sure.
adjacent to is all single-family residential, so that makes the most sense on that.
Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? There being none, call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay.
Yeah.
Just be sure and be at your meeting now. for
Oh, I
later
will
on.
definitely. I'll be there before you all, probably.
We'll let you
Okay,
know.
thank you. Do you all need to keep those?
No, you might want those.
Yeah, maybe make them, yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Okay, now we'll move on to the text amendment revision. Sean, you want to bring
Yeah,
us
so
up to
this
date
is
on
for
that?
the subdivision regulation. What this is we had that last meeting, so this would change to allow for submittal of the engineered plans for roadways, water lines, sewer lines after preliminary plat has been submitted. Engineering costs are getting awful high these days, and so a lot of them, it's a bit of a risk for them to get all that done before they come in, even knowing if it's feasible or not. With the preliminary plat, we're just looking at the general concept of it. It doesn't get signed, it doesn't get recorded, they wouldn't be able to develop or even get building permits until final plat was approved, which could not happen without the engineering and the roads being approved. and accept it. So again, this just changes when those submittals would have to be done. We could schedule it and then we come back in front of the planning commission for review and consideration of those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem, I don't have other board members, I think that might make it a little easier, and it certainly won't hurt anything.
That's the, like,
You
you're
still
gonna
have
have
the-
to do it, there's no way getting
Right.
around it, it's just, at least they have a base concept of, okay, they can
Sure.
start moving forward with it, rather than being 30,000 in and
Yeah.
taking the camp off.
The more I've thought about it, the better I guess I like it. Okay, do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a
Second.
motion and a second, any more discussion? There being none, we call for the vote, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so that will be sent on also. Okay, do we have any staff updates?
I don't have anything at this point.
Okay. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
A motion, second. Okay, we got seconds all over. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you y'all for